This is
Is
great.
everybody in your places?
Yeah.
Are all the props set? Is everybody ready?
Right here. Hello.
It's a miracle, I can hear.
Yeah, we're Okay, okay, quiet on set. Action.
Pre-show music is playing, pre-show music is going out, lights are going out, lights are out.
Listen. We have heard the stories of the ancient Spear Danes, their courage and greatness and heroic campaigns, of Shield Chieftain, the great warrior and terror of his foes, a foundling at birth, yet in time he prospered. He was respected and admired.
That were good cunning.
That was a good king.
At his fated time, Shield crossed into God's keeping. Then his warrior band did as he had commanded, while he still had power to wield words. They carried him down to the sea, their beloved Lord, and stretched him in a vessel with a fine carved prow, a craft fit for a king. Treasure was gathered to pay tribute.
As generous an offering as his people gave him when they cast him away, newborn, alone over the waves.
Breastplate and blade on Shield's body was laid, precious gear that would go by his side. I never before heard of a ship so splendidly laden. They raised a gold banner high above his head and let the sea carry him, give him to the ocean's sway, grieving for him, bewailing their loss. Nobody knows what became of that treasure.
Shield had fathered a son and heir, Bearson, a cub in his court, a comfort sent by God to that people, for he knew how they had suffered without a leader. Now Bearson ruled the fort of the Danes. Famed was this Bearson, far flew the boast of him. He won honour and glory, for deeds that are admired and praised lead to power everywhere. His first son was the great Lord Halfdana. He was 4 times a father, this warrior king. One by one they awoke into the world, Haeregar, Hrothgar, and the brave Halgor, and a daughter I heard who was Onelo's queen, a comfort in bed to the battle-worn Swede.
The fated fortunes of war favored Hrothgar. Kinsmen and neighbors flocked to his ranks, a force that grew to be a fearsome army. And is that going to be a sound or?
I think a beat, and Tor should be there with the fearsome army, if he can be,
Okay.
with the Danish army, but that's okay.
Kinsmen and neighbors flocked to his ranks, a force that grew to be a fearsome army. And Hrothgar decided to build a great hall, a feasting house where his people could gather, a magnificent mead house, mightier far than ever was seen by the sons of the earth, meant to be a wonder to the world forever. Far and wide the work was commissioned to build and adorn the marvelous mead hall. As men count time, it was finished with speed, and then it stood there, strong and ready. Hereof he named this hall of halls, he whose word was law.
The hall was vast, its gables high and wide, awaiting the barbarous burning that would be its fate. That day would come when the bloodlust of in-laws would flash into flame and the hall fall to ashes. But in the beginning, the shining hall was a symbol of strength.
In Hereof, Hrothgar shared his wealth giving out rings and precious gifts, treasures at banquet as he had promised, but never common land or the lives of men. The ring giver called for the clear song of the singer. The skilled poet told of man's beginning, of how the Almighty had made the earth, brilliant in beauty, bound by the sea, and set up in triumph the sun and the moon as lamplights for men, bejeweling the world with branches and leaves and quickening life in all living things that move and breathe.
These noble men enjoyed their good fortune until one evil spirit, a fiend out of hell, a powerful demon prowling in the night, had to endure great torment when he heard the sound of the harp in the hall. He felt envy and anger to hear their joy and began to suffer bitter sorrow.
Grendel was the name of this hideous demon. He haunted the marshes and the desolate fens, in misery among the banished monsters. Cain's clan, forever condemned as outcasts.
Okay, time.
It's waiting out that and
This ruling for as long as it's.
We need a prop, we need a, makes one there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but it's okay now.
You got it?
Yeah.
don't knock into it. We don't have workman's comp for this volunteer gig.
That's just how we learn.
It just shows how destructive Grendel is.
Yeah, and he's like, reckon he's like,
So from
Grendel, get back on. Poor Tori, can't see.
Cain's clan, forever condemned as outcasts. In the dark of night, Grendel drew near, closing in on the ring danes in the royal hall. And there he came upon the best of the warriors, asleep after fainting, unmindful of danger, but insensitive to pain and to human sorrow. There's somebody out there, or
We've
Oh, good.
changed it, John,
Oh, you
to
can do it all,
shadow.
great.
Yeah.
All at once Grendel descended upon them, wrathful and reckless, grim and greedy. He seized sleeping men and stumbled in darkness back to the lair with his murdered corpse, proud of his plunder and banquet of bodies.
Then at the dawning as day was breaking, the atrocities of Grendel were revealed. Wailing arose where feasting had been. Mighty King Hrothgar was staring in horror, bewildered and stunned by the loss of his things. He was sick with grief but had no respite. For the very next night, merciless Grendel struck once again with murderous havoc. No one could know his purpose or reason. He was evil by nature and knew no remorse.
Okay, stop. There should have been puppeteers on stage for that bit. Wait. All of a no, there shouldn't have been. There should have been. Wait. Turn resident exit. Then at the dawning as day was breaking, we sing the atrocities. We need Deb, Suzanne, and Amy as the Danes on stage. Mighty King Hrothgar staring in horror. That's Kathy, sick with grief, and then Grendel strikes again behind the puppeteers.
Okay,
How do you get off when he comes on?
Then you exit. Evil by nature knows no remorse. Exit all.
okay,
So
so
I should've-
what puppet do you want me to use? I didn't know that
You
I
should
was
be
in
a
that
Dane.
section.
You should be a Dane.
Just any name.
Yeah.
And I should be a Dane?
You should, there's no Gayets left. Yet. We haven't gone to Gayetland yet. And so it's only Danes.
Okay.
So, and where do, this is new, so I gotta write it in, where's, because even in the run through
Well-
we just did, I didn't do that, I don't think, so.
We
Right.
had folks come on to look at the atrocities. I think this bit is a little long. I think that it's confusing to have him striking again behind the puppeteers after they're viewing the atrocities. The very next night, while they're still looking at the atrocities from the day, it happens really fast and really quick. So I'm almost wondering if we need to know that it's continuous, but I don't know how to do it and keep the narrative working.
Well, that's why I was exiting but they didn't have time to blah blah for the very next night, and then, I
So
thought we
exit.
were all.
sick with grief but had no respite, exit everybody there. That
Because
means you're
then
only on
he-
stage for 6 lines?
Because he comes in again. We don't want to block that.
I know, it just happens too quick because the mighty King Hrothgar has to stare at the atrocities.
We
All-
can do a line of 6 lines.
All right, let's try it. Then at the dawning as day was breaking, let's try it. So your line to come in is then at the dawning, your line to go out is had no respite. And it should only be days. See sleeping man back to his lair, read those lines. John, just proud of his plunder.
Then back of his lair with his murderous corpses, proud of his plunder and a banquet of bodies. Life.
Then at the dawning as day was breaking, the atrocities of Grendel were revealed.
Yeah,
Wailing arose where feasting had been. Mighty King Hrothgar was staring in horror, bewildered and stunned by the loss of his thanes. He was sick with grief, but had no respite, for the very next night merciless Grendel struck once again with murderous havoc. No one could know his purpose or reason. He was evil by nature and knew no remorse.
So Grendel ruled, the reign of terror
This is
of
still
one against
foreshadow.
all in defense of right, until Hera,
Still you.
the greatest hall in the world, stood empty at night for 12 long winters. Those were hard times, heartbreaking misery for the Prince of the Shieldings and his people. While the evil of the ambush, young and old, with murder and massacre, panic after dark, endless terror, no relief from Grendel's raids
Okay,
and ravages.
now this is just too much with nothing. So either Tor is still marauding, or Heorot is somehow.
I think I'm gonna bring Hero out and have it standing empty.
You're gonna have an empty Heorot?
Yeah.
Okay. Something has to happen there, it can't just be blank.
We could show Hera and we could have Tor behind it.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it worked.
And you know, you could have the puppets in the foreground kind of looking sideways too, sort of in with Grendel in shadow.
Yeah.
That might work.
And because we're also going to have them on to pray at the
Do
shrine
the pagan
next.
shrine, so it's kind of the same thing, you're just gonna switch the background out.
Except I kind of like them coming on to pray at the shrine.
Okay.
So let's do a broken Heorot in that scene. Let's do Grendel marauding, then the thing standing empty at night for 12 long winters, and no relief from Grendel's raids and ravages. Everybody still with me? Now let's go to the pagan shrines. Kate, that would be sometimes at pagan.
Sometimes at pagan shrines they prayed to the slayer of souls in their desperate need. That was their custom, their heathen hope. They turned towards hell in their misery, for Almighty God was unknown to them.
Soon the horror was known throughout the world. Sad tidings told in sorrowful song. Terrible tales of the heartrage of Grendel, his long vicious feud and his endless evil. How Hrothgar's warriors were helpless against him, and Hera stood dark, doomed, and empty. Is there black there or something?
There should be
Dark drum beats.
Okay. This feud with Grendel became known to Heorot in the land of the Geats.
So the gas.
Nope.
Okay. This again, guys, we have to get right in place to be in the Geats. No relief from Grendel's marauding and massacring, right? That gives us plenty of time to get in place to be the Geats. And there's one. We need a couple over here. They're ready to go with their armor. Look at them. We don't need their piercing head on.
You need time for this transition, or are you ready to go in?
Dark.
Yeah, it is. I have a dark that we can give them some.
I think they probably do need time. It seems like we keep missing it, and the reason is there's too much of a transition.
If we knew which puppet was coming on and they have already, we'd have plenty of time.
So how can we make that happen?
Well, I'm easy.
You're easy. How do we make it happen?
Well, just have to know.
So which puppet?
I
The
mean,
ones in- the ones in the chainmail.
soldiers that need to get all gussied up.
It's the ones in the chainmail that have,
I think again, we're running into the problem of people don't know which puppet they're doing next. And we don't know which puppet's which.
okay, so how do we clarify that?
Well, right now, we can set the cue. So we know where the lines are, and we know that soon the horror was known throughout the world is probably the cue to get everybody with their puppet, because the transition is going to take place about
30
10 seconds after that. 10 seconds after that. So, and there'll be a light change after dark, doomed, and empty, and that's where you hear the drums, and you'll hear them enter. That's when they enter, probably with the drums.
Actually, you have a whole stanza to get ready.
Right.
After the pagan shrine, that's when you need to get ready to be the Gaettes.
Does everybody know which Gaon they are?
That's what Stuart was wondering.
I
Is
think
that-
it's hurting us that Beth isn't here.
Yeah.
So there are people,
Today I'm not
Yeah.
back and forth from
Yeah.
that table to this table to grab
Okay,
puppets.
there they are there.
And
So,
then I'm not there in time, so.
it's okay, we're getting there. I just want to make sure that somebody's there.
I mean, one thing too is that it helps me that I'm the queen a lot, because I know what she's supposed to be wearing, like she's kind, you know what I mean? So as people understand which puppets they have every time now,
Mhm.
I think they'll be able to take responsibility for their puppets.
Is it
make
starting,
sure their puppets
is it
are
starting
dressed.
to click with everybody, which puppet is which? Which are the Gaettes, which are the Danes, which are the Firth,
Yeah, the Gaettes.
which is the show? Do we know that yet?
I think it's just been so confusing because people have been off, and this is the last day that people are off, so I think we're, going forward,
Yeah.
people are gonna be doing the same thing every
agree.
time we do it.
I mean, I already know more just from, like, doing this, 4 times between yesterday and Friday.
Mhm.
Like, I'm starting to understand, like,
Who your person
who
is
my
and-
people are and what I have to do for them, my puppets.
I'm wondering, I don't know what space you're gonna have to work with in terms of organizing your puppets when you perform. Is there any way of organizing them according to the puppeteer?
The problem with the puppets, yes. The problem with the puppets is that they have multiple roles
Yeah.
and multiple puppeteers.
Yeah, and that can
So-
get a little.
I
That-
thought that might be the case.
Can you
That's
simplify
the
it so that
problem.
they don't have multiple puppeteers at least?
Yeah, I really like the fact that I'm pretty much holding the same puppet all the time.
Well, Debbie's always the show.
Yeah, that I know for sure.
Then like 2 of us are the queen, me and Suzanne are the queen, and then me and Beth are Unferth, I think.
At this point, I don't think we can reassign roles because I think people are already locked into what they're doing and it's just gonna throw a wrench in the works.
Yeah, I think now
So,
we're starting to.
just try hard when you pick up a puppet to know what it looks like and to say, hi, Unfer, or hi, Queen, I know what you look like, you have the blue eyes, not the brown, or whatever.
Say that.
So, soon the horror was known throughout the world, everybody has time to get in place. Let's move on, Feud with Grendel became known.
The feud with Grendel became known to Hairlock's men in the land of the Gaels. There was one among them for whom strength was the foremost man in the earth at the time. The king's nephew, the mightiest of thanes, believed that his strength could defeat the demon.
I have heard there was no one like him alive, high-born and powerful, strong and courageous.
He ordered a ship, a stout wave walker, and declared his intention to sail to the Danes, to seek out King Hrothgar far over the Swan Road, that noble monarch in need of defenders. None of the elders stopped him from going, though dearly they loved him, they let him seek honor, fit for a hero. The omens were good.
Good.
The bold man chose comrades, the best he could find, the keenest of warriors from the ranks of the Gaels. Sea skilled and seekers of glory set
I
sail.
was supposed to come before we had gotten on the boat.
I think it is too.
That's what happened earlier.
Because I was gonna turn to you
I was like, I
guys
don't
to say
remember
hi.
him saying, picking us out.
No,
Why are we
John,
following him?
Let's read,
I'm really confused.
wait.
Yeah, there's a change in the drums a little bit with from the ship coming out. And as soon as the ship is in the lake, this comes.
Why don't you do that after, the bold man chose comrades, the best he could find, the keenest of warriors from the ranks of the Gayots. Then do the thing, then do the drum beats.
Okay, great.
Then we
And
can,
then let them all get into the boat,
okay.
and then see Gilday take
Great.
sail.
All right.
And should the boat be back a little further than this?
And the boat should be back a little further than that, so let's do the whole thing again.
You want it closer to the table?
Yeah.
But I gotta get past it.
Like us,
So, yeah, I sent you guys, I said, hey, turn it in.
Yeah, that was your cue line before. Take it a couple lines before that, John.
Okay, yep. He ordered a ship, a stout wave walker, and declared his intentions to sail to the Danes, to seek out King Hrothgar far over the Swan Road, that noble monarch in need of defenders. None of the elders stopped him from going, for dearly they loved him. They let him seek honor, fit for a hero. The omens were good. The bold man chose comrades, the best he could find, the keenest of warriors from the ranks of the Gayots.
There we go.
Over the waves with the wind behind her, that seahorse swiftly crossed the distance, until, in due course, on the second day, the sailors saw landfall, sunlit cliffs, steep crags, and broad headlands. The voyage was over, and the sea had been crossed.
The Gayat warriors climbed ashore quickly, leaping to the sand with clashes of armor. A sharp-eyed lookout was high on the wall, guarding the cliffs from foreign marauders. He saw battle gear being unloaded, and with a mighty hand, he shook his spear and challenged the intruders with formal words.
Who are you in your warrior's longship, rigged out for battle with bladed weapons? Never before have men at arms, uninvited, landed so openly on our shores. Never have I seen a mightier warrior than this man among you. No hall sloucher here, but a hero, I think, unless I'm mistaken. Yet, before I allow you to go any further, you must tell me, and the sooner the better, where you have come from and why you are here.
The leader of the warriors unlocked his word hoard.
We belong by birth to the Gayat people, owing arms and allegiance to the Lord Healak. We come on a mission and have nothing to hide. In good faith, I mean to speak to your leader, Halfdana's son, the noble Lord Hrothgar, to learn if the reports we have heard are true, that the Shieldings are cursed with a man-eating monster, a dark ill-doer in the dead of night. I come to offer my strength and assistance.
A wise man will measure two things, what he hears and what he sees. I believe what you have told me, that you are loyal to the Lord of the Danes. Proceed then, bearing your weapons and armor. I myself will guide you and order my men to guard your ship until the time comes to carry you brave men back to Gaetland.
So they proceeded, with bright helmets flashing, and in the fairest of halls under the heavens. Then mail coats glistened, and the hard rings of hand-locked iron sang noisy word songs. A proud sentry stood at the doorway, blocking their entry into the hall of Heorot.
I am Wulfgar, the herald of Hrothgar. Where do you come from with burnished shields? What brings you here to the great hall of Heorot?
We are King Heolac's men from Geatland. Beowulf is me, Nama. Beowulf is my name. We seek an audience with King Hrothgar, but I'd rather explain this mission of mine to your famed sovereign personally, if he will receive me.
I can tell by your bearing and by these fine wrought weapons that you are men with noble intentions. It is plain you are here because of your valor, and not because you are banished or exiled. I will bear your request to our noble king and come back at once to bring his reply.
And so the herald went in haste to the high-seated bench where Hrothgar sat, white-haired and old, with his earls around him.
Usually there's somebody.
That was
helping me.
Stuart before.
Wulfgar announced the warriors' arrival.
Warriors from Geatland request an audience with you. Gracious king, I
Yes.
beg you to receive them. They seem well-born and worthy of respect. The foremost among them is a man called Beowulf.
I knew Beowulf when he was a boy, helped his father, aged their home. Now his son has come here as a friend to us to repay that help. Now, this is my hope. Seafarer says, fearless in battle. His 30 men strengthen the grip of his hand. Only God in his mercy have sent him to us. Guided the Geats to defend us from Grendel. Go in haste and bid him come hither. Say the Danish people welcome them.
Beowulf led his warriors to Hrothgar. He stood valiant on the king's own hearth in the shimmering metal of his mail shirt.
Good, Lisa.
Hail, mighty King Hrothgar. I am Heolac's kinsman. In Geatland, we have heard of the dark deeds of Grendel. Travelers say that the best of buildings stands empty, useless, deserted at night. The wisest men among my people advise that I offer assistance and aid because they observed my awesome strength. When they saw me in battle, I was always a victor.
Also look at him, Amy.
I resolved to come here, and if you won't refuse me, I will overcome Grendel in hand-to-hand combat and cleanse dark Heorot of this hideous demon.
Beowulf, it grieves my heart to burden anyone with the malice, carnage, and humiliation Grendel has inflicted upon us here in Heorot. My household guard is steadily weakened. Fate has swept away my best warriors into Grendel's clutches, leaving no trace. Your father swore oaths of allegiance to me when first I was king. Now you have come, at the height of your powers, a friend in our hour of need.
Unferth of Thane, the son of Edgelock, sat at the king's feet and spoke envious
That's
words.
so everybody can see Unferth too.
Are you the same Beowulf who battled with Brecca to show off your swim skills in the open sea? You risked your life in the deep water for the sake of a foolish, arrogant boast. I heard Brecca outswam you and came through stronger. This time, you'll be slaughtered. No one has ever lasted a night in battle with Grendel.
Strong words, good friend Unferth, but I think that it's the mead that's speaking for you. I would never battle with my friend Brecca, and the truth is that I was the mightier swimmer. But for 5 nights I battled under the waves with monsters who haunted those ice water depths. By the time it was over, I slew 9 sea demons. And then I towed the weary Brecca to shore, I cannot recall any fights of yours, Unfair, that bears comparison to my mighty deeds. For what feats of valor will you be remembered? Slaying your brothers? The fact is, Unferth, had you the courage, Grendel's death dealing would have been stopped long ago.
So you guys over here, you Gaiaps, you can like look at each other like, what's up with that guy, right? You can like, kind of like have a little thing. Don't just
Look,
stand
I've
there.
been through a lot. I have fought that evil piece of shit for a long time.
The grey-haired treasure giver was joyful, having heard in Beowulf such steadfast resolve.
Music, but that's okay. Keep going.
Then the laughter started. Danes and Geats shared flagons of mead under Heorot's roof. Wealhtheow came forward, Hrothgar's queen. Mindful of courtesy, she welcomed the men, came to Beowulf and offered him mead. With an open heart, she rejoiced in that hero, grateful that a champion had arrived in the hall to rid them of the cursed Grendel.
I made up my mind when I set out to sea that I would perform this act of courage and give your people what they need. Or meet my death in this very hall. Fate goes ever as fate must.
Oh, it's time for me to take my night's rest. Never before, since I could bear arms, have I entrusted the Danes all to another man. Now guard and hold this royal house. Remember your courage and focus on glory. Beware of the enemy. If you come through alive, your ship will sail home with a hold full of treasure.
Resolute, Beowulf placed his trust in his courage, his might, and the mercy of God. He removed his armor and put down his sword.
I will face Grendel unarmed, if face me he dares. God will give glory to the one who sees fit.
The Lord of the Geats lay down on the bench with his faithful company by his side. None of them knew if they would ever see their homeland or dear ones again. They knew how often the Danes fell prey to death in the mead hall by the hand of Grendel. Soon, all were asleep in the shadowy hall, all but one. Beowulf, awake, alert, and ready for battle.
Nice.
Then from the moors under misty cliffs, murderous Grendel came greedily stalking. The cursed creature came into the mead hall and beheld the company at rest. Unaware, the hall door fastened with fire-forged bolts, he burst wide open in his rage. With demonic eyes flashing him like flame, he exulted over the chosen prey. Fearless and still, Beowulf lay watching.
Grendel seized a sleeping warrior, bit into his bones and drank down his blood, devouring the man from his head to his foot.